and ever
staring
and
at the
ever.
screen. Again, I'm literally watching this.
Okay. Yeah, I have to make sure the broadcaster actually started. So let's see.
It still says Ilderon Tales.
Yeah.
Haha!
Oh, it's live.
Live
There
now.
we go.
All right. Awesome. Awesome Maronis. All right. I'm ending the broadcast. Everybody go home. We're done.
we just did that. Now we're done.
No, I'm kidding. All right. Welcome to the Ilderon Tales. This is the first book of this is the first group of a new book, and oh my gosh, I'm so excited. The first broadcast of 2020. Everybody who's watching, thank you for tuning in. We are going to have a great time tonight. So, if you do not know what we are doing, we are playing Dungeons & Dragons. Dungeons & Dragons is a role-playing game, and everything you are going to see tonight is going to be live storytelling. And this music is super duper loud. There we go. Everything you're going to see tonight is going to be live storytelling. Nothing is scripted. Moving on from there, there's a couple rules that just govern how our characters work and mechanically like how fast we can walk and other things. Otherwise, everybody else is in complete control of their characters. I'll have a minute for group introductions in a second. Moving on from there, if you're new to this content, if you are under the age of 14, please consult your parents before watching anything else, because the stuff you're going to see here is probably not going to be appropriate for you. And finally, we're playing in a homebrewed setting. It is the world of Ilderon. If you are new to our setting, one of the really cool things about Ilderon is it takes that assumption of D&D that the gods watch over the world and goes even more literally into it, as the gods are a part of the world. The gods all live in the material plane, alongside with their followers, except for the few ones who have been banished. We'll come back to them whenever they become relevant, if ever they become relevant. So from there, I think, how about we go straight down in Discord from top to bottom, and everybody can say hello. You can say your name, if you want to, the character you're playing, and give one or two sentences either about you or your character, and then we'll get started. So let's start with Annie.
All right. Hi, I'm Annie. I'm playing the character Lex. I had a lot of fun painting their picture, but it took way too long.
Okay. And Asher. Steve playing Asher. Can you guys still hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Cool. If Steve's talking, I can't hear him.
I must have had myself muted then.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I'm playing Azure. I guess there's a lot to say, but it'll probably get revealed fairly shortly here anyhow.
All right. Shelby?
My name is Shelby. I am playing a character called Nyoka. He is a naive lizard who takes things very literally. So I should have fun with some hijinks with that.
All right, Havoc.
I'm Havoc, or Mike. I'm playing Brahm, a slightly cynical, wandering character.
Okay. And then we have JV.
I'm playing a Kaiath Delson. He is a young, ambitious wizard. It's a psyche and mentality and mentalism and whatnot. And follow the hierarchy. So really structured and ordered sort of fellow.
Okay. Then we have No Soul.
I'm playing Anaziah, who is a druid of the Wildfire Circle, and he's very curious and he's anxious to get to know everyone.
All right. And that leaves me. I'm the Dungeon Master. I am playing literally everybody else. Real quick, I'm going to move all of us into the session room, and then we'll get started. Alright, this way, while we're playing, nobody can jump in and interrupt us. Alright, so, let me read the prompt for this session, and we will pick up from the prompt as far as things I always forget to do is mute my phone, because it never fails that like the whole day will go on and nobody will call me, and then the second the live stream starts, somebody will call me like instantly. All right. So, the Silver Sigil is an ancient order of scholars that has evolved over the centuries. Some might call them a magical mafia, but they work in the shadows of every nation, pushing the world towards a better understanding of arcane magic. Chaos is building to erupt in the continent of Galkin. A new shield hand has been appointed to rule over the city-state of Kraylor's Fist, and her political alliances are threatening the thin peace the continent enjoys. The Silver Sigil has grown wary of the situation, and questions if the Sigil's leadership is prepared for the coming storm. The storm this new rising dictator will cause. They have called together the Silver Senate for a vote to elect new leadership. 3 candidates have stepped forward with a plan. The Senate must decide which plan will be the best move towards the Silver Sigil's goals. Promote unity among the nations, and further the world's understanding of magic. You are a member of the shadowy organization, and your vote now matters. Alright, so our story tonight is going to begin on the continent of Galkin. For everybody watching, that is this huge landmass over here. There was once an empire that spanned the entire continent from one end, or from the southern coast all the way to the northern coast. But the empire was shattered over time, and the remnants of the people all remain and have gathered into their collective factions or tribes. And as such, in the little areas where none of those tribes have settled, city-states from colonies and other nations from across the world, and people who have ventured to this continent to explore it, have settled, particularly near the parts that face the inner sea. Our story is going to start in one of those city-states tonight. That one being the city-state of Coven. Alright, so everybody is on the Isle of Coven in the cliffside fortress known as the Galena Mave. It is a large multi-building museum and university. It is a citadel that towers over the looking town. And there are... Oh, okay, cool. There are some inspiration pictures on the left side as far as kind of like what this place looks like. It is on the hillside above the coast as the ocean and the inner sea crashes across the southern parts of the Mave. The Mave is connected to the small town on the other side of the cliff, and there's a river that runs through the center of the town, and the whole town kind of winds up this hillside, turns back up the cliff, and then goes towards the Mave. So if you can see this, I'll draw this out. This is kind of like the low area of the town, and then it winds up, and then this is like the high area of the town. So if you were looking here, you could kind of look down on the lower sections of town. And then if you look all the way over to the right of the screen, I have a zoom in of just kind of where this is located on the world. So I'm going to do a bit of heavy talking here at the start, and then I will turn it over to you guys, and feel free to interrupt me as needed. But everybody has marched their way up from the various sections of town into the citadel of the Mave. Marching across the bridge and through the halls of the citadel, you guys see all around you dozens and dozens and dozens of gray robe clad figures moving against the rain as they go into the citadel and they turn through the various hallways. People are coming downstairs and moving towards the Senate chambers. There's a low rumble of voices as everybody's kind of talking amongst themselves or to the people that they've came with. All around you, you're just shoulder to shoulder moving in this sea of people. You hear one person, you hear two mages next to you start talking of just, I wonder what they called this council meeting for. The other one's going to respond and say, pirates are going to start slipping past Kraylor's fists into the Eastern Sea. I think I know what it's about. And you guys are just going to hear more and more people just talking about their theories about this meeting. As such, let's start with Kayeth. You are going to, all of you are down here in the sea of people moving towards the Senate chambers. Most of the party is going to recognize Kayeth as he's walking through this crowd. JV, can you give us a description of your character?
Dressed in traveler's clothes, not too well-to-do, but not too poor. Immaculately dressed, not spotless. They look like they were pressed this morning. He's a young human, he's bald, has piercing blue eyes, and is fairly short. And yeah, that's Kayeth. Okay.
So, as Kayeth is walking, he is going to be accompanied by the person he recruited into the Silver Sigil, Nyoka. Shelby, your character, Nyoka, is going to see Kayeth as you guys are moving through the sea of people. Can you give us a description of Nyoka?
Sure. Nyoka is a beautiful and oddly good-looking, salamander-looking lizard man. And he's kind of almost iridescently shiny with his scales. And he is walking with a... looks like a two blades at his back that he has strapped to it. One is a dagger and the other is a short sword. And he isn't really wearing really much anything else. Looks very tribal, very rustic, if you will.
Okay. Then joining both of them, just a few steps behind them, is the other person that Kayeth recruited. Annie, can you give us a description of Lex?
Lex is a 5-foot, very thin human. They're wearing a black cloak and a mask, and they're kind of glancing around nervously every so often.
Okay. And let's see. walking nearby these people, you're going. Brahm is going to notice, obviously, Kaya, Nayoka, and Lex, as they might be engaged in like some small whisper of a conversation amongst each other. But he's not too far out of sight of them. Can you give us a description of Brahm, Havoc?
Brahm is a light green tiefling who wears a bluish green robe. He carries a staff, and he is covered in geometric shaped tattoos that almost look tribal but aren't.
Okay. And I'm sure Inazia would have questions about those tattoos, and noticing Brahm also in the Sea of People as Inazia. Can you describe Inazia to us, No Soul?
Well, Anazia is.
Oh, Anazia! It's already begun!
Yeah. Is a fire genasi, and while he does notice and is curious, he keeps to himself and for now and just kind of wanders up. Currently, right now, he's not wearing a hood or a cloak, but there is a little bit of steam coming off of him from the rain, and instead of flames on top of his head, currently it looks like more coal-like cinders.
Okay. Alright, and following the smoldering man is going to finally be Steve's character. Can you describe Azure to us?
Yeah, is the mic on?
Yes, I can hear you.
So Azure is about a 6-foot elf-looking person. He's definitely got the sharp ears, but he's very, very pale and has white hair, and his eyes are gold with accents of red, kind of a ring of red around the outside, very thin, and some veins of red throughout the golden eyes. And he would be wearing something fashionable to the sigil right now, since he's been there many years.
Okay. Alright. As you are walking, people are eager to get through these twisting chambers into the Senate chamber. And I just need to roll one more thing. Somebody is going to shoulder past Lex, almost knocking them aside as they push through.
Nayoka will grab him.
Well, that's funny that you say that, because the next person he was coming to shove was Nayoka. The man is a tall half-elf that you see in front of you. He has got a book under one arm in his hand as he was moving to shove you, and he's going to say, "Let go of me, you savage! They're voting on a new judicator today!"
Nayoka say you be quiet. Nayoka say you apologize to Lex here. Lex is Nayoka's friend. And I'm gonna spin him around and point it at her.
He's going to pull his arm free and look over Lex and say, "One of the miscreant thugs they probably recruited to handle back alley assassinations. I'm sorry I didn't give you the proper respect you deserve. If you'd be so kind to..." He bows very slightly, and he's going to turn, look over Nayoka, like eyeballing him like from head to toe, like, and that's like that kind of sassy eye look, and then he's going to step around Nayoka.
Nayoka's going to show him his sharp razor teeth. in a almost sarcastic response smile.
Azur would have moved forward to check if Lex was okay.
Lex is just kind of there, just like, oh, okay, I guess.
Would Bram have seen this?
Yes, the whole party would have seen this. Like, so Lex, Nayoka, and Kayeth are walking close together, so, you know, he would have shoved his way straight through those three, but everybody else, you could look to your left or right and just see this man just, like, pushing people, like, in the middle of this crowd. Like, everybody's trying to get to the same place, but he is hastily doing so. And he's only, like, now about 10 feet in front of you guys. He's not making
Bram
much
looks at him
progress. Go ahead.
Bram looks at him and just calls him a Reiner and just gives him the most evil stare that he can.
Oh, he's gonna look back at you, grimace, like squint both of his eyes down, and then just he's gonna turn, like wave a hand and keep walking. It's not worth it.
I make a gesture that is very rude.
All right. Oh, go ahead.
Nyoka's gonna turn to you and kind of give you that nod.
Damn, Reiners don't know what they're doing. They just throw us into everything. Expect us to survive.
So as you guys are walking through this these corridors, eventually you are going to get into the Senate chamber. There's going to be a large. Let me. Sorry, I have to pull up the few things on here. Okay, there's going to be a large raised platform in the middle of the room, and it's going to be tiered so that the speakers can. It's kind of like an amphitheater in here. The speakers can address the entirety of this circular room, and the shadows of this room, you can see stands of people filling each and every corner of this. There is a quiet murmur as three people stand in the center of this raised stage, hovering high above the stage, probably 30 feet in diameter. Is this glowing illusion of Ilderon. It is the entirety of the world as a sphere, and I'm pretty sure I have a picture of that on... Oh, I do, but it's got text on it, so... and it is the world of Ilderon, and under the each piece of the world, or rather inside of the continents, you can see glowing lines moving nation to nation as this slowly rotates above the Senate chambers. In a display around the stage are 11 different desks with 9 people seated at each of them. Or 9 people seated at them. Two of the 11 chairs are empty. You guys are able to come into the Senate chambers and take your seats. Go ahead,
Brandon. Where do I see Lucillith?
Lucillith, let us see. No, there are lots of people in here, and well, actually, I'm sorry. I rolled a check to see, and this is me getting back into dungeon mastering. So I think that's a really good first question of the night. If you guys want to do anything or roll anything, feel free at any moment to ask me, and I will make you make a roll for it. I just reflexively rolled on my own because it's like I'm just in Dungeon Master mode, and it's been a hot second since I've Dungeon Mastered. So, but no, you're not going to see Lucillith in here. Yeah, it is. There are murmuring voices filling this chamber. You can barely even see to the other side of it with like the maximum side of your perception. There's just silhouettes and shadows of people that you can make out. Do you want to do anything else?
No, I'm just gonna pull out a piece of wood and start carving on it.
Okay. All right. As the chamber slowly fills up, the man on the center of the stage, you see him start casting a spell before his voice begins to boom over the crowd. He's going to say, most esteemed agents and lore keepers, Anthalars, and members of our order, the Order of Galena, those who wear our sigil. I call this meeting of the Senate together, or to order. As the Judicator, it has come to my attention that there are those within our ranks that wish to replace me. We will now hear their arguments. After he calls the meeting to order, he's going to step off of the raised stage. You see a woman who's been standing on the stage. She's going to step up and say, many of you know our order is based out of here, are based here in the Mave, inside of the city of Coven. While we reside in the Clutch, it's very important for us to be able to. It's very important that the Clutch remains as peaceful as possible in order for us to maintain our role in the rest of the world. Another man is going to stand up and walk to the center of the stage and stand next to her and say, the second most powerful city-state in the region, Kraylor's Fist, has a new leader, and she's made no effort to hide her motivations or her actions. She started colonizing portions of the Clutch. She's making deals with the bandit princes of the Crown. The woman speaks up again and says, It'll only be so long before she throws this region into chaos. And the allies with the Crown, she'll be a rising dictator in Kraylor's Fist, especially with free use of the Hymasdale Navy. The man is going to speak up again and say, and with an allied force of Kraylor's Fist and Dagger Gully, it'll only be a few months before their ships are embargoing Beechwood Retreat. And then we'll have pirates in our waters, sieging the Mave. And with us goes all hope of peace that Galkin can enjoy. The man speaks up again and says, Andis has served as our adjudicator for the past 20 years. And while we acknowledge he's done a well enough job, there have been certain conflicts and certain shortcomings that have arisen under his watch. The woman is going to speak up and say, we each have a plan to address this new rising dictator. Both both Adele and myself. We seek your vote to replace Andis. The senators are each silently going to raise a hand in agreement. After counting them, Andis is going to walk back to the stage. He says, I knew this moment was coming. And he's going to look at the other two and say, if you had any guts about you, you'd challenge me for leadership in the way of old. A spell duel to the death. Both of you. The woman's going to say, no, Andis, there's no need for that. He's going to say, I've served this Senate for 20 years, and sure, there was the Lost Fire conflict and the Crimson Crusade, but those are the only two stains on my record as Judicator. Storina is going to say, I propose that we move forward in the light. We let everybody know it's time for the Silver Sigil to come out of these shadows. We let everybody know what we're doing and who we are, and propose that they work with them. You have done well, Andis, but I believe we can do better. And finally, Eldel is going to speak up and say, my proposal is simple. The shadows have been our friends for the past 20 years. We need to embrace them harder. I don't think we need to undermine this new shield hand. We need to eliminate her. We recruit assassins. We orchestrate the elimination of her powerful generals and anybody overseeing her navy and her admirals. Andis is going to step in between them and say, well, my proposal, if you choose to keep me as Judicator, is to keep working as we have. Now that this crisis has my attention, I can assure you it will be handled just like every other crisis that I've handled in the past 20 years. With that, the council begins talking amongst each other. There's a couple minutes where they stand up, and you see the different senators walking to each other's desks and talking. The chamber breaks out into sound as people talk amongst themselves. You guys are free to say anything to each other if you want. The party is all seated next to each other.
That Eldel sounds like a brute. How would you just kill someone without even facing them first?
Nyoka think that that's the best way.
It would be safer to do that than to be forced to contact them and have them kill you first.
But we don't even know their motivations. We only have hearsay. How can we just send assassins to kill anyone?
Anyone who allies himself with Dagger Gully does not deserve to live.
There are many innocents even in Dagger Gully.
Yes,
Have you been in Dagger Gilly?
The slavers there all deserve to die.
I second that.
And then he
Nyoka
just
know a lot of
spits on the
people.
ground because he is, and you can see he's fuming every time somebody mentions the name of Dagger Gully.
Yes, but you don't know how many slaves might be hurt in the process.
Friend Kirith, what do you think on this?
As they're having this conversation, and Isaiah's coals are just kind of flickering to flames every now and then as he's kind of listening to them.
Okay. By the way, JV, if you responded to what Nayoka asked Kayeth, your mic was muted and we did not hear you. I see that you've unmuted your mic, but we don't hear you, so maybe your microphone has an external mute button, or you're on push to talk. Mic problems. The most horrific boss monster of them yet.
Yes.
Do you want to type out your opinion, or do you want to reconnect and come back? I don't mind waiting a half second. He's gone! He's gone forever and I'll miss him! Oh, he's back.
Okay, he's back.
Oh, let me make sure he has the ability to talk. Well, he should have the ability to talk here if everybody else can. If you want to sort that out, JV, go ahead and type to me your opinion real quick. And, okay, that's fine. It's fascinating, the battle for power. Go ahead, Annie.
How did Kai find you, Lizard Man?
Oh, Nayoka thinks that the shadows are the best way to go. If somebody a problem, you take him out. That's the way it worked in the lowlands. That's the way it works everywhere.
I suppose so.
You must give people chances to redeem themselves. Capture them first, talk to them, understand them, see if you can bring them to the light.
Some people can't be brought back to the light.
You don't know if you haven't tried.
They're not worth it.
Everyone's worth it. Life is life.
Nayoka know a lot of bad people in this world, but you gotta do what you gotta do. A Jackie does what a Jackie does. You, whether or not they are redeemable or not, or is not important. What's important is that they cause problems for other folk.
If they happen to be
Every
mass murderers, then yes, of course. Taking one out to save many is definitely instant action.
What do you think the masters in Dagger Gully are?
They are slave traders, according to you.
I have to
know
be.
from experience, they are slave traders.
Yeah, I have to agree with Bromberry. I know a lot of people over there. They're not good people. They gave Blue Lady a whole lot of problems.
And is that the region that we were speaking of? That this woman is making strange alliances?
Yes. I have been called a leatherneck for as long as I can remember, and I will not be called that again.
A leather?
Lex kinda gets tense when he mentions the word leatherneck.
I was kidnapped as a child and brought to Dagger Gully for many years. I've only escaped for the past 5. I will not show mercy if we go to Dagger Gully.
All right. As your conversation finishes up, the senators are going to be returning to their desks. As soon as each one is seated, Andis is going to return to the stage. Or is going to return to the center of the stage. Both Storina and Eldel joining him. He is going to speak up and say, "All right, if all hearts and minds are settled on the issue, we shall have a vote. Storina steps forward and says, as the senator of Alonagai, and as a candidate running for who's in the position to be adjudicator, I abstain my vote. Adele is going to step forward and say, as the current senator of Low Lakes and a candidate running for adjudicator, I abstain from the vote also. Andis is going to speak up. Since the current vote is on the matter of the adjudicator, if there is a tie, I abstain from deciding the winner of the tie and move it to a full council vote. Or a full chamber vote. With that, please make your vote known by your voice. The senators are going to speak up one by one. They're a little too far away to hear what they're saying, but you might hear like the whisper of one of just like Adele Kaiden Claspin, and as the person says that, this blue wisp is going to leave their mouth like a breath of air, and a small, just tiny dim ball of light. And it's going to move to the center of the stage and start rotating around Adele. Another one's going to say Storina Theolite. And then this white ball of light is going to move out of their mouth and then around Storina. And then another says Andis Wetchard. And this orange ball of light is going to move and hover around Andis. And another one says Storina Theolite. And a second ball goes around Storina. As soon as the circle is finished voting, there are 3 votes for each candidate. With that, Andis raises his hands and says, both hands in the air, he says, "It goes to the council. Let your votes be known." People begin saying words and or begin saying names, and as they do, balls of light are going to go and float around each candidate that they vote for. That said, let's go through the party, and I've been picking on Annie earlier by going from the top to bottom. Let's go from the bottom to top.
Ananias says Ondis.
Okay. Okay, let's, JB, what's Kayat say?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yay! Ondis.
Okay. What's Havoc? Havoc, what's Brahm say?
Eldol is the one that wanted to assassinate everybody, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Alright.
He votes for Eldol.
Shelby, what's Nyoka say?
Nyoka is going to ask a question, who is on this again? And it's going to cast a vote for Ondis.
Alright. And, Steve, what's Azure vote?
Ondis.
Okay, and Annie, what's Lex vote?
She's going to choose Ondis because she doesn't know how any of this works.
All right. When all of the votes are said and cast, Adele's lights are slowly going to fade away. Storina's lights are slowly going to fade away. As the votes for Ondis remain, they are going to spiral and go into the sphere of Ilderon that's hovering over the room, that globe of the world, and they are going to light up those lines that are connecting each nation. Ondis is going to raise his hand, silencing the chamber, and say, It stands as I have been for the last 20 years. I will remain your adjudicator, and I promise you, this shield hand's actions will not go unnoticed by my eye. Each of you have your tasks throughout the world. Please, see to them, and once I have a plan on the matter, I will ensure that everybody has that everybody's contacted, and we have a proper way forward. I will not rest until we do. Storina and Adele look very unpleased at this as they step off of the stage. With that, Andis is going to say, I dismiss this meeting. I dismiss this meeting of the council and of the Senate. Those of you who have come to the May for your assignments, though, please see the advisors that are nearby for you. Andis is going to cast a spell, and he's gone. People are going to be talking. Yeah, actually, that's a good point, Jordan. Some people are going to be booing. Yeah, just like, boo, boo. He failed us in the Lost Fire conflict. He failed us in the Crimson Crusades. And a lot of people don't have faith in Andis, but other people seem content with business as normal. That said, people are slowly going to be filing out of the chambers. As the room clears around the party, somebody's going to be sitting a few rows in front of you, and he's going to look back at you, and some members of the party might recognize this man. A few, and most won't. This is just one of the scribes that's always running around the maze. A guy's going to look back and say, Kayeth, is that you?
It is.
He's going to get out of his seat and start walking up the stairs towards your row. And he's going to say, "Ha! Kayeth, come on!" He opens his hands and goes to give you a hug. And he's... does Kayeth hug him?
Does he know who he is?
No. Well, actually, Kayeth can roll a history check if you want. But no, you don't think you recognize this guy.
Before Kayeth can do that, Nyoka gets up and hugs him.
He's gonna hug Nyoka and say, hey, "You're friendly."
And while he does that, Nyoka is going to pat him down to make sure he doesn't have any weapons.
Okay, go ahead and just roll me like a sleight of hand check of like if he notices.
Okay, 1 second. I'm sorry.
Lex is behind Kayeth, kind of like staring at him, just kind of like, who the heck are you?
Okay, so he's hugging Nyoka and he's like, "You're friendly." Oh, a little handsy. He pushes off as your hands grope his butt. And he's going to say, "You don't remember me, Kayeth? You came into the assignment quarters when you were a lore keeper, and you were asking about recruitment information, and I said, now this is a guy I want to be friends with. So, well, I guess it's only right you don't remember me. My name's
I've met a lot of people. I'm sorry.
He's going to say, "Oh, no, my name's Anarelus. I handle assignments and recruitments for new agents and lore keepers of the Silver Sigil." He's gonna.
That's right.
He's gonna push your.
How are you?
Yeah, he's gonna push Kaya's shoulder and say, "Hey, congrats on making agent. You're moving up in the world." And he looks.
We all found our place in the hierarchy.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon, this isn't the guy I beat, was it?
Roll me a percentage die. I'll let you decide that. High, it probably is. Low, no, it's not. And if it is, you probably gave him a concussion and he doesn't remember. Nyoka doesn't think it is.
Okay.
But yeah, he's Azure said, "How are you?" Oh, he's gonna say, "I'm just doing swell. This meeting made my job a lot easier. I don't have to send out sendings or go track down any of the lore keepers or agents I have to keep up with. Everybody's in the chamber." He's going to look into his messenger satchel and say, "Oh, that reminds me, Kayeth, I got your first assignment." And he's going to be flipping through several pieces of rolled up parchment before he finally pulls out one. And he's going to say, "Huh." He unrolls it and says, "Looks like 4 storm giants in the forest of Yan Baharan have tamed hydras, and they're going to war with each other for control of their clan. Okay, you have to orchestrate the assassination of 3 of the 4 storm giants that don't agree with our tasks, with our goals." Oof, that's a hard one. Oh, you know what? That's not your name. Wrong assignment. Okay, anyways, he's going to pull out another one and say, "Yep, this is you, Kayeth." He skims it for a minute and says, "Huh. Looks like it's related to the shield hand." He hands it to Kayeth and says, "The shield hand colonized a small river town in the south near Dagger Gully. Seems like she's exporting something from there in bulk. I want you to get in and find the manifest from the harbor master. Looks like 3 of our agents died there last week, or in that region last week. Might want to bring somebody with you." Well, it seems a little dangerous for a new field keeper, or for a new agent. Let me see if I got the right one. He looks through and says, "Political leader, assassination, monster hunt, crypt dive." Yeah, that one's for you. All right, good luck. He hands it and he starts walking away.
Okay. Whew. But not this is not the storm giants.
Yeah.
All right. What's the?
Brad gets up, starts to walk away, turns around, sits down, and slams his staff on the ground and just is livid.
Why are you upset?
Like I said, anything to do with Dagger Gully makes me furious. And I tried to not show emotion.
It's not like we're actually going to go there. We're just going to be nearby. It's fine.
Okay, we'll just start reading the mission.
Okay. You read it out loud?
Yep.
Okay. There is a town. It is called Kaitelis Falls. It is a small, little, nothing village in the middle of nowhere. Apparently, the Shield Hand has moved several battleships out of her navy into the bay that is outside of this town and has started constructing a harbor there. They report... the report says something is being moved out of that harbor. They want to know what. There is likely a harbor master's manifest that you can get to find out. Retrieve it and bring it back to the Maeve. It then lists at the bottom of other agents working in that region. And then next to each of those agents, there's ink on it that is very recent of days that they have been deceased, or days they went deceased, and it's fairly recent that each of these happened.
It's probably a slave trade. So close to Dagger Gully.
And Isaiah offers to join the group. Offers I can't pronounce the name. The JV or character. He offers to join you. Yeah.
Kath will
Rob doesn't
shake his
even-
hand.
Rob doesn't even offer. He just says, "When do we leave?"
I like your initiative, Lawkeeper. Is anyone else prepared to take on this mission?
I suppose I will join you, considering that I have nowhere else to go.
Yeah, anything to make progress toward unraveling this Dagger Gully.
Nayaka just assumes he's going, so he.
Nayoka knows his place.
All right.
All right.
Let's see. I'm going to roll a intelligence die. Not one. Okay.
Wow.
So you guys are going to see Anarelus. He's talking to some other people in the chambers. Walking to a person. You see him fumble through his satchel a couple times, taking parchments out of people's hands and replacing them with the proper one. He makes his way probably through about 3 or 4 different groups of people in the time that you guys have been here talking. One of those groups is going to walk up towards you guys, and this person's going to say, you guys get a mission from the new advisor?
Naturally. And yourself?
And it's it looks like a elven male that you're talking to, and he's got trousers on and his robe's open. He's gonna say, yeah, it's not my first time. It's not my first time at a festival for one of these. He looks and says, though the advisors of the past would have transportation to get you to these places, they didn't even offer to teleport us or anything.
Same here. What did you make of the vote?
He's gonna whistle and say, old Ondus got his judicator position the old-fashioned way. Beat the last one out of the roll. He's good with magic. He likes getting his hands dirty more than other judicators have in the past. I wouldn't be surprised if he rigged it.
Fascinating.
And he's gonna shrug and say, he slipped up a couple times, but judicator's a judicator. It's the Senate that really decides the matters of the of our organization.
Whereabouts are you heading for your mission?
He's going to look at his scroll and say, an island off the west coast of Undar. Well over 2 weeks travel from here. No teleportation. This place is skimping on us. He tucks his hands into the pockets of his robe.
I wish you the best. We need to plan.
Does Brendan? Does he have a staff?
Does he have a staff? He does not have a staff. He has a He has a scimitar on his belt underneath his robe.
Then Nyoka isn't interested in it.
Okay. Somebody said I'd like to, and I don't know what else they said.
I was simply saying that before he leaves, I'd say I prefer the idea of walking. It gives me more time to research other people's magics.
No, he's gonna go. Whatever. All right. Good luck out there. Him and his group are going to start walking away.
Did anyone know that guy's name?
No. Also,
Who cares? Lazy people don't need names.
Yeah. What does first circus mean?
Say that one more time.
He said, it's not his first circus. What does that mean?
It means that he's been here before. He's not a rookie.
Well, most people have been here before. This is our headquarters, after all.
He was insulting us.
Ah, okay. Lex doesn't know any of this.
Shall we find a comfortable place to make some plans?
Wise idea.
Comfortable or not, let's just make plans and set out as soon as we can.
All right. You are... Well, let me give you a couple places. So, inside the Citadel, you can get an alcove. Normally these are like reading or study alcoves, but they are private areas inside of the library sanctum, where you'd be able to have like privacy and sit down and make a plan. There's a boarding house inside of town. If you actually look at the picture to the right, I'll circle it. I rolled up the boarding house and the floors of it and everything in a generator because I was like, they're going to spend a lot of time here probably. So there is that, which is like...
So we should never go there ever.
Yeah, who knows? There's that inside of the town, and then there's probably like a small... there's probably several small bars inside of town you could go to. And where else you'd be able to find privacy? And here, this place is pretty crowded, so otherwise it's questionable.
Should we go to the library alcove?
What town are we in? Are we at the...
We're
on the island, right? Or
yes.
Are we on the...
You are on the...
We're not in, like, beach retreat or anything like that, right?
Why does it... Oh, okay, that's why it keeps defaulting my color to the worst color in the world. Okay. Yeah, you're in the city of Coven, and it is this place right here, and I'll circle it on the map there, and you can see the city map already, so... But no, you are not in Beechwood Retreat.
Okay. Then Nyoka wouldn't have any preference.
Okay.
Bar is probably where Nyoka would gravitate to, but depends on what they want.
All right.
Let me rephrase that. Depends on what Kirith wants.
One
Yeah,
last
shall we go
comfortable
to a-
meal before we leave?
Suppose,
idea?
yes.
Works for me.
All right.
You really get the feeling that Brahm is in a hurry to get this done and over with. And you think it's because he really doesn't like these people.
So, shall we all go get horses?
Let's go have a chat at the bar.
Yeah. Okay. So you are going to head into town, and you're going to look for a. You're going to look for a tavern. You're going to find a place called the Tired Student. It is right off the main roads outside of the Citadel on the high side of town. It overlooks a small hillside that then cascades down into the river. It is a pretty nice place. However, it is a pretty nice place as far as like the quality of materials and everything making up this place. However, it doesn't seem very well lit at all. Even stepping in here, this food doesn't smell like anything beyond passable. You also kind of get the feeling of the people that are in here probably aren't members of your organization, but are more associates that members of your organization might deal with. Like, you heard lots of people talking about like orchestrating assassinations or undermining other like governments or stuff. It takes some pretty grimy people to do that. And looking around this place, you are going to definitely see several of those people.
Nyoka is gonna go ahead, Annie.
Since Lex has been kind of like in the underground so long, would she maybe know, or would they maybe know anyone?
Would they know anybody here?
Yeah, just kind of like glancing around, like not really.
I'll say this. Roll me a flat d20. We'll see if you have any contacts here.
Okay.
Because you are pretty new to this organization, though.
What's the win condition? High or low, Brendan?
So as a flat d20, the higher the better.
Okay.
There's a couple different ways to roll if you're not sure.
Oh, yeah.
9. I'm using another app to roll, but
Okay.
Oh.
my computer. But yeah.
Are you
9?
okay? Are you able to roll in Roll20, or because if you're not, I would like somebody else to roll for you for the rest of the night, if that's okay. That way, it appears on stream.
Yeah, let me see.
Okay. The 9 is fine. Shelby, were you going to roll for Nyoka?
Sure, I can roll for that.
Okay.
As this is going on, and as I is just studying Brom's tattoo markings on his skin, just what he can, and just kind of trying to memorize them.
Okay. Okay, so 7 for Nyoka. Alright, so for Lex, Lex is only going to recognize one person here.
Oh, no, sorry,
okay.
never mind.
And just looking around, you're going to see a man at a table. He's got a halberd and a crossbow leaning against the table. Seems he's talking with 2 other people. He's in scale mail, and you recognize him. He is a man you've referred to as Che. Your dealings with him, he is a traitor. He is a Heimsdale knight, and he told a group of bandits where a caravan was coming through that he was protecting, and let it get ravaged. Since then, you've seen him a couple times in this region. And let's say Lex was a part of the group of bandits that ravaged the caravan.
Alright, I guess.
He does not take notice of you.
Nyoka is going to look around and say, remind Nyoka home.
Kaif will shake his head and look for an empty table.
Alright, you're able to find one. A place like this, it's got like lots of pillars holding up the second floor. And just all of the pillars in this room kind of, with the dim light, just kind of provide an extra layer of privacy of just like at any one point in the room, you can't wholly get a glance of everything else. And around the edges of the room, there's plenty of dark corners to sit in. You guys take your place among the villainous hive of scums and I forget the quote. But anyways, you're able to find a table.
That's good.
It's hive of scum and villainy.
Yeah, there we go.
If nobody, if Garrett doesn't say anything, Nyoka is just going to stand behind him like you would have done with Morgan.
Okay.
Just out of habit more than anything. Like he's not realizing that he doesn't have to do that anymore.
Would you like to eat, Nyoka?
I and Nyoka kind of weirdly sits and then starts looking around like like somebody's gonna jump out and start laughing at Nyoka.
Azur takes a seat with his back toward the wall, basically.
Okay.
Looking around.
Yes. You guys have a relative amount of privacy.
I suggest a quick round of introductions and then maybe we can start planning.
Brahma's gonna sit next to Anasiah and just put his arm so that Anasiah can see his markings.
Cool.
Oh,
I can go first. My name is Kaif Delson. I'm a recently promoted agent. Very excited by this mission. Very excited by all of you here, and I'm confident we can get this done. And yeah, that's I'm a wizard. And we'll get this. This will be great. This will be great. Yeah, who'd like to go next?
I could go. My name is Lex, and I'm a recruit that Kaida found. I've only been in the group for a couple weeks, so I'm not exactly sure how everything works, but I'm looking forward to working with all of you.
My name is Anasiah, though some of my fellow colleagues have taken to calling me Cinder. They say it's because of my temper. I am glad to meet you all. I'm anxious to learn about what everyone can do. Hopefully I can find something to help with my research, and I'm very curious to what these tattoos are for. And he pulls out his notebook and just starts kind of drawing them.
Brown looks at him and says, I was born with them. I was touched by the star of Alizea? Is that how it's
Alilius. It's fine.
And I hit things really hard. And I just grip my staff in my hand.
Nyoka just looks at everybody and goes, I'm Nyoka. And doesn't offer any other explanation or anything else. And then goes back to, it goes back to whittling.
I like the lizard man.
Brahm says, oh, I apologize to everyone. My name is Brahm.
Nice Nice to meet you.
Ezra nods. Well met, all of you. I've been with the Sigil for about 40 years now. So I welcome you each to this place, to this organization, and it will be exciting to see what you can all do. I'm a paladin by trade, and see if I can keep you alive. Pats his two-handed sword.
Okay, by the way, information we didn't cover, Steve, at the start of this campaign. Important for Azure, it's been 6 days since his last kill.
Oh, very good.
I will keep up with when you need to feed for you.
So the first effects will start after 2 weeks, right?
Yes.
Brandon, does the place have any Phoenix blood? Because Nyoka would probably want to try and get his smell back going.
If you're asking if the grimy tavern in the magical mafia city has Phoenix blood, the back alley magical wine, yes, they do.
He's gonna order a glass.
That's
how much?
all they sell.
They have drugs.
How much gold is that?
A glass of Phoenix blood will a single glass will only run you 5 silver.
How much would a gold cost? How much of that?
Oh, a gold that will get you 2 glasses of it.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
and then 5 gold would get you a bottle. And so for the new,
he's gonna get a bottle then.
okay, for the new players, Phoenix Blood, it is a magical wine inside of Ilderon. It has been laced with chaotic, wild arcane magic. And it smells and tastes like whatever your favorite aroma or thing is. So when you smell it, if you think of an apple orchard, or if you like apples, you might smell an apple orchard. And if somebody else smells it, they might smell like cinnamon or orange peels or something like that, because it magically alters your senses. When you drink too much of it, which is basically any at all beyond just a single sip, you suffer the effects of chaotic magic until you are uninebriated. But anyways, Nyoka's able to buy a bottle.
So our mission is to go to Kaitelis Falls. Sounds like the Shield Hand has moved some battleships into town, and they're building a harbour. Something's being moved out of the harbour, and our mission is to retrieve the Harbour Master's manifest and find out what is being moved there. And does anyone know where Kaitelis Falls is?
I'd imagine my character does.
Yeah, if you guys want to... Well, actually, it is a nowhere town in the middle of nowhere. I will make you roll a history check on it. I will not set the DC very high. Anybody can roll it.
Would I have passed through it when I escaped?
Kaitelis Falls? No, it's on the other side of the oasis that Dagger Gully sits on. However, and I'm just going to move us over. Oh, okay, this is not what I wanted. I'm going to move us over here to this place. And let's see, let me zoom in. Alright, if you zoom, you did not go through it, but you know where it is. Like, you've heard trade of, like, with
Alright.
Kaitelis Falls.
Okay.
Again, I suggest that we all find some mounts. Should we go get some horses?
Maybe a ship might work better. Because we're talking like
Yes.
700 miles or something.
Is there a
And we are on an island.
is there a quartermaster of some kind in this organization, Brandon?
A quartermaster, presumably so. If you need gear or supplies for your mission, that elvish man told you that your advisor was supposed to be able to supply those with you, or supply those to you. Presumably, Anaralis would be able to get you guys supplies.
So we should track him down again before he leaves that arena.
Yes, but I'm
Well-
sure we can do that shortly.
He may have offices here as well, I suppose.
Yeah. Can I go talk with the Chad guy? I don't remember what you called him.
Che?
Yeah, Che.
His name is now Chad forever. When you
Sounded like.
when you go and talk to him, he's gonna be like, "What's up, bruh?" I'm kidding.
Oh yes, this is going to be amazing. Lex will have no idea what he's saying the whole time.
Let's see. Let me pull him back up. I'm gonna upload a picture real quick for Kaitelis Falls because I just noticed I didn't. I just noticed I didn't put it in the other page I have. And cool, that is uploading, and then we are on Che. Okay, you are going to go over and talk to him. He is sitting down with a dwarven woman and looks like another human woman. They are turning over a piece of leather on the table, and he's gonna say, "I'm telling you, it's magical." Right before I cut him, he looks over and sees Lex coming. He's gonna lean back and say, "Don't I know you from somewhere?"
Yes, I suppose you do. You were very kind to tip us off about the cart incident.
He's gonna blow a raspberry at you and go, wasn't kindness. Got my pockets laid.
I suppose either one works, but how's it all working out for you?
He's gonna say, well, let's see. I betrayed my brothers in the sword. I'm on the run from the Heimsdale army, biggest army on this continent, by the way. And I'm held up in some shit no water museums, or some shit no water tavern in front of a shit no water museum.
The girls are still here, aren't they? They're just watching him do this.
Yeah, and he's
That's fun.
yeah, and he's gonna say, not holding up too well. Yeah, wasn't worth the gold.
I would think so. Have you heard anything about your friends?
He's gonna look back at you and say, what do you mean by friends? Don't keep too many of those.
Have you heard any news on your brothers and your sword? I would think that you would still listen to news on them, even though you're on the run away from them.
He shakes his head and says, if the Heimsdale Navy or armies in a region, I get to moving. I get to moving real quick. I heard, he is going to rub his nose and say, I heard there's a new shield hand over in Kraylor's Fists. Timescale might be moving in more places around the clutch than we're used to. It's going to become real safe for all of us. He leans back. The lady across the table, the dwarf, is going to laugh and say, "Ha! Yeah, safe. We'll be as free as slaves, but as safe as a dog in a cage."
Lex has no idea what that means, but they're gonna roll with it. It seems like you've been rather busy, considering your little slip up. Good luck in the future.
He's going to nod and say, and back at you. You want to join us for a drink? He gestures to the table.
No thank you. I'm actually on a trip for the Silver Sigil at the moment. I have to get going.
And
Yay.
Alright. With that, he's just going to shrug and turn back and turn to the leather. He's gonna pull out a knife and just like stick it into the table and say, "I'm telling you, it was magical. It was hard." And this when he was wearing it, I tell you, it didn't go straight through like this. He goes back to telling stories about it. You are able to return to the party.
Yay, I'm going to.
So I'm sure we can figure out.
If he knew anything.
Well, did he
I
know
like your
anything?
initiative.
Nothing more than we know.
Oh.
So I'm sure our advisor will sort out logistics of how we get there, but maybe we should make a plan first. Some kind of cover, perhaps, or some reason for being in the Kytelis Falls.
Azur will break out his lute and start strumming the song.
Nyoka just shrugs and say, "Nyoka, go where the spirits tell him." That's all he ever needed before.
We could be the lizard man's bodyguards. And he's just on a journey for some reason. We don't know.
I do not think that would hold up. Lizard Man does not look like he needs bodyguards.
Good point.
Kayeth, you look to be the most well-to-do member of our band here. What if we were to protect you in your travels as a salesman of some kind?
Yes, we could be on a research mission, or traveling mercenaries, perhaps. That works.
If there's any criminals around there, especially because of how close we are to Dagger Gully, there might be people who recognize me, but I'm not sure.
Would that be a good thing or a bad thing if someone were to recognize you?
Depends on who recognizes me. It's a backwater town, so I doubt it would be anyone that's after me, but you never know with those places.
So we will go with a story of I am a traveling scholar searching for artifacts in the desert, and you are hired mercenaries to protect me?
Yes, that will work.
That'll work.
Sounds good.
Is there any other plannings or preparations or decisions we need to make together before we start securing travel?
Well, part of it, definitely securing the travel is part of that. If we are going by horse, we need to get horses. If we're going by ship, we need to see if we can do that. I don't have
Okay.
any. I don't have any coin in particular to support us in this. But I can play a
I'm-
song or two and earn along our way.
I'm sure the sigil will cover our expenses. I will go to the advisor to secure our logistics and our transport. People are welcome to come with me, or we can arrange a time to meet up. What would you like?
I think it would be wise for me to be there.
Yeah.
It's possible we might be able to leave right away, so... Unless someone has errands to run in town.
Then we go together.
Fantastic. Lead the way.
This is going to be awesome. Okay, let's go.
Azur will finish up his song and put his loot away.
All right.
Anyone like the song?
Nyoka is going to leave as a present what he had been carving on.
Just leave it on the table.
Okay.
Yeah, it's as kind of as his here's my payment type of deal.
For the Phoenix Blood.
No, he paid for that.
Oh, okay.
But it kind of as a part of for the Phoenix Blood,
Okay.
and he.
Out of curiosity. Out of curiosity,
Go ahead
what
and
were
make
you
that
carving out
performance
of?
check.
I was carving out of wood.
Yeah, but where'd you get the wood? Did you just pick up a stick and carry it with you, or did you just grab something off the table and start carving it?
Mhm.
No, I he would have done that too, but no, he had a piece of wood with him, like a stick.
All right.
How do I get
Not. It is not Nyoka's best work. Oh wait. Okay. Wait. No, that was a different performance check. Okay. 11.
11.
Still not your best work, but it's going to be a above average. Well, actually, it's actually below your average. Okay, so yeah, you're gonna carve this wood. I mean, there are too many people just talking around you with plans and stuff, and the blue lady never consulted you for your opinion on stuff. She just let you carve. Probably would be easier without the voices. But yeah, you're able to leave it on the table.
Okay.
All right. Does anyone want to do anything else here before you guys go see Anarelus?
No.
Just make sure that Anasiah has a good charting of all markings.
I'll listen on the way out.
And they're just... They don't do anything, no magic to them at all? No significance? Other than just...
The only reason I know I was born under the star, I'm like I said, I'm terrible. I'm gonna have to write down this pronunciation. Is the last time that Alelius was present and was shining, my body lit up.
Interesting.
All of the markings started to glow. That is how I know I am light touched.
All right. You guys are going to... I'm going to say this conversation's happening as you guys are moving back towards the Citadel. As you are moving through the Citadel, you're able to go in through the museum into the admissions area, and here, just moving into the back area where the different scribes work back and forth, you are going to find where Anarelus works. He is sitting down, and he is at a desk. You see him nodding as if he's listening to something, and then he starts writing. Then you see him look up. He waits, he listens, and then he starts writing. It doesn't appear anyone's talking to him, but there also seems to be at least a dozen other people in this room at different points, and and there's a second floor doing the same thing. as you approach, he's going to see you guys coming back in here, and he's going to hold up a hand, gesturing for you guys to wait. He writes down something, and then he's going to stand up and walk away from his station towards you and say, "Ah, Kayeth! Hey, how's it going? How's the mission?"
We are off to a fine start. We just now need logistical support to arrive at our destination.
He's going to scratch his head and say, wasn't I supposed to give you... Yes! Here it is. He is going to reach into his pouch and say, "Yep, it was the last one. Knew I'd forgot something." He hands you a scroll and say, "That should get you there."
I would also... Go ahead.
Kayeth will inspect the scroll.
You look at it. It is deployment orders. Apparently, there are a band of a couple hundred Warforged living in a marsh far to the east. It is to go make contact with them and see who is leading them and establish good connections with the sigil. It is a mission just like the one you are holding.
I don't believe this will help us get to our destination.
He's going to look it over and say, "What? Oh no!" He rolls it up and he's going to look inside his satchel and say, "Ooh, well, I just got promoted from bookkeeping to advisor, so just keep this a little hush hush, and I'll get you there, okay?"
Okay.
Bram just shakes his head full on face palms and says, "Orion."
I'd like to use persuasion and talk of arms and armament as well.
What do you say? And then after you tell me what you're going to say, I'll allow you to roll the check.
I know that Nyoka wouldn't miss a chance to extort him. So Nyoka say, "We keep it quiet, but we want some extra cash."
I'll allow you the help action on that persuasion check for Nyoka's statement.
Okay.
So
I'm going to say...
Go ahead.
We need slightly better equipment for this journey. We need, at least a suit of plate mail and a silver weapon. This is vital to our success.
Okay, go ahead and roll me that performance, not that persuasion check. Okay, 15. He's going to scratch his head and say, "Well, geez, I really screwed the pooch on this one. You know what? I'll see what I can do. Just come on with me." He's going to lead you out of these back chambers, and he's going to lead you upstairs to several rooms. And the chamber he leads you to, there's let's see. Let's roll a d8. It's a good number. There are going to be 2 people in this room. There is a large basin of water in the middle of the room, and they are holding their hands. One person's holding their hands over it, and the basin is showing light. As you guys step into this room, you can see the floor of the basin. It is looking at a scene of a hillside, and several groups of people are camping near it. The person in the basin, or the person standing over the basin, has cast scrying into it, and they are perceiving this. There's another person in the room who is sitting down reading a book. Anarelus is going to walk up to them. They whisper back and forth for a second before the woman is going to stand up and walk over to you guys. She has reddish skin and horns protruding off of her head, and a tail slowly curling behind her. As she walks up to the party, she closes the book and says, Anarelus says that you're going to need a teleport.
Yes.
Among other things.
She's going to nod and say, "Oh, I can teleport you anywhere you need to go. I spend most of my time divining on this entire continent. Whenever you're ready, just let me know." Anarelus is going to look over at the group and say, I don't have much in terms of silver weapons or anything, but he's going to flip through his satchel and says, "It's my job to communicate with lots of different agents moving across the country. I think he looks at a compartment where there are about 8 different stones attached to the bag. He picks up one, sets it down, picks up one, sets it down, picks up one, and says, this one, yeah. I'm pretty sure this agent lives in that region. He might be able to help you out with some gear. If he's still alive, that is." He hands you a stone and says, "Oh, it's a sending stone. You can use it to send a message to somebody."
Is that unlimited communication?
He will tell you all of the properties of it. It works once per day on either direction. The person sending to you, whoever's holding it, or you sending to them. The word can be the message can be 25 words or less, and they can then respond instantly with 25 words or less. You know the name and person who sends you the sending, or you become aware of the other person who sends the sending and who's receiving it. So it's not like you can send a sending and the person doesn't know who you are.
And perhaps a sending to you to help us get back?
He's going to look through his stones and say, "Oh, geez, I really don't have an extra one." But he should be able to help you. He points at the stone and says, "Old man Lucilith, he retired in that region. He still keeps an eye out."
Okay.
For the sigil, though.
Him again?
I ask if the region we're going to is friendly to the civil sigil or not.
The woman is going to say, "You don't have to worry about that. They don't even know we exist."
I nod.
That means
We'll take the sending stone.
that all of you shouldn't talk about it around other people.
Yeah.
Talk about what?
Exactly.
All right.
Nyoka's gonna go up to him and go, Nyoka want more than that. Lucilith is wily and not trustworthy. He remember him.
Anarelus is going to say, "Oh, geez. Well, I don't really have much more than that."
Nyoka just looks at him and goes, "Nyoka, come wait."
He's going to walk off, and he's going to.
Nyoka's gonna beat him up again.
He's gonna come back a few minutes later. He's got a silver pendant in his hands. It is of a small bent flower. It is very intricately crafted, and he's gonna say, "Here, a pendant for your sash."
Nyoka's gonna take it, but then he's just gonna hand it to Kirith and go, "Well, we can sell that. That's good enough." And turns around and waits for Kirith to decide what to do next.
Azur would try to distract Aurelius while the lizard man is talking in such ways, and thank him and tell him that he's doing a great job, and I'll give him a good review when I get back.
Kayeth will speak directly into Nyoka's mind and say, "Well done." Shall we go?
Yes.
The tiefling holds out her hands and says, "My name's Trox. If you ever need a favor, don't come crawling around my chambers unless you have something worthy to trade for it."
Understood.
Once everybody joins hands, she begins the incantation for teleport. And just like everybody else, she has to roll on the teleport table. 84. And she's likely viewed this place casually, confirming the information in the reports. So I am just going to pretty much assume that that makes a teleport, because I think it's below 75. That's a mishap. Alright, she's going to teleport you guys to the hillsides of Kaitelis Falls. Alright.
Whoa.
And there was a picture that I uploaded because I wanted you guys to know where you're at. Alright, here we go. Cool. Alright, and if you see, well, this picture really doesn't do a good job. We are in that bay. So Kaitelis Falls. Teleporting here. She's you guys land in a clearing of trees just west of the village. Just west of the falls. You can hear the rippling of water in the distance. And you can see the town is built into the hillside. Or it's built around the falls with the bridge going over the middle. There is a there's a fort that has been built. It is wooden on the north side of the town, overlooking the town. Looking south to the bay, you can see 3 ships. Each one is flying the flags and crests of the city of Kraylor's Fist, not the Heimsdale Navy. That said, they are out in the distance of the bay. Ever so often, if you pay attention, you can see a rowboat rowing towards the ships, almost a line of them of like 3. And it is important that we have a time of day. It is night. So yeah, you guys would just see like the torchlight on the water. Okay. From there, yes.
I'm gonna immediately look around and scan the area, see if I could find any potential beneficial herbs in the area that in the immediate area that we landed in.
Okay. Go ahead and make me a perception check. And Trox is going to step back, and she's going to take out some chalk and begin
Am I doing that right?
down. Yes, you are.
Okay.
You don't see anything innately beneficial on this cliffside.
Nyoka's gonna look for wood, like to.
There are trees all around you.
He's gonna just try and find like a spare branch or something that's fallen,
Okay.
so that he has something to carve on.
All right. Trox begins her incantation for a teleportation circle, and a minute later, she is stepping through it and gone. The magic opens a portal underneath her, through which she steps into. As it closes, the loose chalk outline of her of the sigil of the teleportation circle is left on the floor before the wind slowly blows it away.
Kayath will go to say something, and then it'd be too late and just say, bye.
Mm.
Kayath will then cast Mage Armor on himself.
All right.
So, shall we make a plan? We're here on our mission.
Wasn't expecting to get here quite as quickly.
Yes, the magic.
We should probably find somewhere to rest tonight if we're going to continue. Blend in with the crowd, you know.
Yes, and then we'd need to figure out who we need to find to get the manifest.
Yeah.
So maybe we go find a tavern in town, and then we can subdivide the work and make some individual missions.
That would
Sounds
work.
good.
All right. Looking for some place to stay in town. Let's see. What die did I need? Oh, cool. All right. As you now this is a ridiculously small town. As you walk into the as you are walking eastward, because you guys are just west of the town. So as you walk into the eastward into the town, and you step into the road, you are going to notice there are just a handful of buildings here. There are a couple of signs that point towards mines, towards the falls. It points towards the cliffs that are over the falls. And let me give a better picture of this. So these maps that I use, I can't do elevation well. So this is a road that leads downwards, and then that red line that I put, that's the upper part of the town. And I'm sorry, this is the upper part of the town, this area right here, and this is the lower part of the town, and this map actually cuts off, but the bay starts over there, in the far southwest part of the town. You can see the construction of what's going to be a dock house, or which is going to be a lighthouse, and a harbor happening at the on the southwest part of town, or southeast part of town, and on the hillside is where all of these little collection of houses are. Even more so, as you look northwest, that's where the cliffs where this water is continuing to ripple down. There are more cliffs north west, and into these cliffs you can see there are lights coming out of from behind some of the falls and from some of the caverns. Presumably that's where these mines are, where the sign is pointing towards. Then moving towards east into town, it's just a small collection of houses here. There is a stable, but you can see there is an encampment around that wooden citadel that was constructed to the north, as there are torches and fire and smoke, or campfires and smoke going into the air around it. But just walking through the town, you guys don't see an inn. Your nose does bring you, however, to a building that has a delicious smell coming out of it.
Nyoka's gonna look. Did we go by the wooden citadel at all?
So I just described what you guys saw taking, and I'll do this in purple.
The reason I ask is Nyoka would be interested in the construction of it, if it looked sturdy, if it looked shoddy, what kind of craftsmanship of it was.
Yeah. I described what you saw going along that road. You saw the front of the citadel. You can see when you went to the citadel, there were those orange and white Heimsdale banners hanging off of the walls of it. It seems well crafted.
Okay.
How many people did we see wandering the streets as we're walking through?
At night, I'll one. And you know what? I'll say they went into that building, and this is the only reason you guys saw this building. They went into that building when the door opened, and that smell of a sweet smell of a very just sweet aroma drifted out and just kind of caught your guys' nose.
Nyoka would have followed the smell, which apparently you already had. He's actually going to just walk in unless somebody objects to him.
Okay. Does anyone stop Nyoka?
Nope.
Nope.
I'll follow right behind him.
Alright. Nyoka, you're going to step into a room. It is a large hearth room. There are several piles of stuff in this room in different points. And there's a table that's been set up near the fire. And there's a staircase leading to the second floor. A woman is carrying down a large platter of turkey that seems to be covered in some sauce, and she is putting it on the table, along with other things that are already on the table. It looks like there's some sort of like cooked banana on the table. There are 4 people gathered around this table. She looks up at you as you all walk in, and she's gonna say, "Oh my! So many more hungry mouths!"
Yes, my lady.
Nyoka isn't going to disabuse her of her offer of generosity, and he's just going to look and say, "Where we sit?"
She'll. Oh, go ahead.
Table for 6, if you please. A table for 6, if you please.
Yeah, she'll say, "Well, I need most of the space in here for sleeping. That's my home, but I suppose you can squeeze in where you can, or if you don't mind eating on the floor, you can get what's left."
So we just walked into someone's home?
She's going to shake her head and say, No, I'm selling sleeping space with all the people coming through town. These nice merchants and you would get along real fine."
Merchants?
One of the women at the table is going to say, "Yeah, the colony's paying real well for labor."
Oh.
So are the traders bringing work in?
the woman is going to say, yeah, I brought in about a half dozen shackled in debt bonds, but hey, they'll work for their freedom. Another man says,
walks up to the table, grabs just a bowl or something, and very deliberately bumps into this lady.
okay, are you going to drop it on her?
No, I'm just gonna bump into her as I go into the table right next to her.
Yeah. So she finishes her statement. She's just like, yeah, mine were shackled in debt bonds, and then you bump into it's like, watch it.
Oh, didn't notice you. Just grab a little bit of food and sit down right behind her, staring at her.
Yeah. The other man is going to speak up and say, yeah, the laborers I sold here, Bounty Hunting Guild rounded them up for me. Some of them only had crimes of 50 or 20 gold against them, but you know, when you can threaten or when it's wanted dead or alive, they'll make whatever agreements they can for alive. The lady and the man both start laughing, just like
Flames start to flicker again.
Polite enough, but because they have their mask on, they're very uncomfortable about the situation, and they're very nervous about this whole thing.
Yeah. The fourth person's going to say, I'm just a lumberer. I sold a healthy supply of wood here. And the person next to him says, I'm his bodyguard.
Ah, that's nice. So are you all ruby merchant traders?
The woman is going to say, pull out her ruby pendant from in her shirt, and say, "Yes, I'm a part of the Ruby Alliance, and so does the lumber merchant." The other man is going to wipe his mouth as he's eating and say, "No, I just contract wherever I can around the place. I don't like the Ruby Alliance. Too many rules about who you can and can't trade with, and where you can and can't trade."
Okay.
Ooh. Who was purchasing the lumber and the labor?
Let's see. The merchant's going to speak up and say, "Oh, well, I believe Kraylor's Fists has set up some mining operation inside of this town. They've needed to build a bigger harbor to get their ships closer to the falls."
What are they mining?
He's going to shrug and say, "I don't know." The woman's going to say the same and just say, "Yeah, I sold them my laborers. They took them off, and I haven't seen them since."
Sorry, I meant who individually were you dealing with here?
Who? Let's see. The lumber merchant's gonna say, "Oh, I dealt with Let's pull up El Characterino."
Anaziah's gonna just kind of take a quick look around. How many people are in the room?
There's the 5 of you. The bodyguard. Oh, well, the 5 of you plus, or rather, your party plus the 5 of them. The bodyguard, the slave merchant who's in the Ruby Alliance, the lumber merchant in the Ruby Alliance, and the slave merchant who just contracts wherever he can, and then the woman who owns the house who's feeding everyone. After she finishes like placing down the turkey and cutting it up, she is going to say, well, sleeping space for a nice safe place to rest your head is just 2 silver, and you can take that corner over there. I suppose a lot of you might have to sleep on top of each other.
That's a kind offer. Perhaps we'll consider it after the meal.
All right.
How much would the meal be?
She's going to say, it's on the house. They provided the food. I just cooked it all up.
Bron takes his bowl and tosses it back on the table. Scoffs and says, I wouldn't eat anything they provide.
Thank you very much.
Nyoka is going to take the bowl that Rob threw
Take the
and
second
just
bowl.
just add it to his.
All right.
Alex is obviously very uncomfortable, but they're just kind of going along with whatever happens.
Okay. So somebody asked who they dealt with in the town. The man is going to say the harbor master, Shaylin Kilinar. The woman is going to say Shakilin and he's going to brush a hand and say, whatever, the damn halfling down by the harbor.
Were they pleasant to deal with? Honourable fellow? Honourable person?
Yeah, he's going to say, yeah, he's on acting orders, or rather, he's been living in this town for quite some time. I think he's acting on behalf of the admiral out there on those ships. He gestures towards the bay where those 3 naval ships were. The woman is going to say, I dealt with an officer inside of the barracks over at that wooden citadel. Didn't care much for a name. Got my pay, and I'll be moving on in the morning.
Understandable. I don't think there's much in this town.
The man who's not in the Ruby Sigil is going to just laugh and say, you can say that again.
Perhaps we should pay this harbour master a visit after our meal?
Alright.
Starts looking around the party.
Yeah. You said visit the harbor master at the meal, right?
Yes.
Yeah. A good idea.
Alright. The party is able to eat. The merchants sit and gossip at the table, talking about what they think is going on in the town.
Kaith would like to engage in the gossip and to talk about prices and different places and trading opportunities. He'll flash his ruby pendant surreptitiously.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll listen in as well.
Just listening to the merchants and the bodyguard talk back and forth. One's going to say, I bet they found something in those mines. The woman's going to respond and say, you know You know, these lands are littered with runes from the old Kayak Empire. Every scholar worth half of anything wants to learn their magical secrets. The merchant responds and says, yeah, I heard those cities could float. Who wouldn't want to know? I imagine if it all came crashing down, it'd be buried pretty deep. The other man is going to say, nah, that's just foolish fantasies. It's probably something much more simple. Deposit of diamonds or deposit of gold ore. Something nobody thought was here that she can mine out that the shield hand could mine out real fast and make a quick coin on. The woman is going to clean her plate, rub her mouth, put her napkin down, and say, "Oh, I'm not the only slave trader that's been through this town in the past week. I heard that Kraylor's Fist has commissioned quite a wealth of supplies from the Ruby Alliance."
How many people do you think they're purchasing?
She's going to look up and say, you know how hard it is to travel with six slaves? They don't keep she'd use that term. They don't keep their spirits high. They aren't easy to move through the hillsides and roads here. Getting 6 here was a hassle enough. Let alone.
I wonder why.
Mm-hmm.
Lex is listening in as soon as she said slave traders, so...
Yeah. Let alone finding people with debt bonds long enough to... let alone finding people with debt bonds long enough to be able to do the labor. I brought 6, but before that, some of my colleagues have brought 2, 3. I think all in all, there might be 50 or so in those mines. There's no real telling. The man is going to say, yeah, they asked me to bring 10. All I could find was 4. But I'll, with the coin I made, I'll go hire a couple more bounty hunters and might be able to come back in a few days' time.
I look around and to get a feel for the structure of the building. Was it 2 stories?
Yes. Presumably the lady lives on the 2nd story.
Okay, yeah. And there's no rooms upstairs. It's all, we're just sleeping on the floor in the kitchen area or foyer.
Yes.
All right.
Shall we go pay the harbour master a visit, perhaps?
Yes, I believe the harbor master should be our next destination.
We thank you very much for your hospitality.
Thank you very much.
Let's see. As you thank them, the woman is going to pull Kaya in, and she's going to whisper to Kaya and say, you should contract through the Ruby Alliance. Those companions of yours, they look like they've got a gleam to their eye that they're from the other side of the lake, if you know what I mean. Should be careful about who you travel with.
Kayeth will speak directly into her mind. Good help is hard to find, and sometimes we just do what we must.
Let's see. She has a name. And she's going to say, my name's Dean Doolin. If you ever want to buy better protection, let me know. And she lets go of Kayet's arm.
Should we leave? It's starting to smell a little bit in here.
All right.
We're on our way.
An excellent idea.
You guys are able to leave.
Alright.
You
Woohoo,
Did
success!
Brom notice that Lex was uneasy in the room?
Oh, so this is probably something I should have pointed out. And so I will let Annie answer that question, but I'll tell you how I roll it, and then in the future, this is how we're going to do it. You did not tell me you were making a stealth check of, like, you didn't tell me you wanted to hide the way you were feeling or anything. So I assumed it was very obvious that she was just like, or rather, I'm sorry, they were like, I don't like this, like, and apparently, randomly, like, staring daggers at probably, one of these two slave traders.
Yeah, Lex wasn't really trying to hide it at that point. They were just kind of like, ew, I don't like this at all.
Yeah, and if you, in the future, are feeling away and you don't want other people to know, I will let you make a performance check or a stealth check to either hide your emotions or, mask them.
Yeah.
But yeah, so to answer your question for Brahm, Brahm is very aware that Lex did not enjoy that situation.
Everybody noticed that Brom was clearly upset.
Yeah, which is why she pulled Kayeth aside and was just like, "Are your companions okay? Because they look like they're about to kill someone."
I rolled low.
Nyoka was very happy he got to eat Brom's share of the food. So.
You got an extra helping.
After they're out of earshot,
That's right.
Kayeth wants to. Yeah, after they're out of earshot, Kayeth wants to speak to Brom and Lex and just say, I understand your feelings. Sometimes our missions they bring us into contact with unsavory characters, and I appreciate your restraint very much. We're here for the Harbour Master and information.
And Isaiah chimes in, goes, "Yeah, I was trying to figure out how to burn down the building without getting the owner of the house caught in it."
It is fine.
At least two of them need redeeming.
To this by this point.
The only two of them needed to suffer. The rest of the people there did not.
I agree with Bram.
Kayeth just nods and just reflects on how close a shave that was, and let's go to the Harbour Master's office.
It wasn't that close.
All right.
Said that to me, it would have been on.
You need to buy some better protection. Stab. With the staff.
I don't have anything to... Yeah, staff right in the back of the skull.
Alright, so heading down the road, it winds down to the lower section of the falls. It is very slippery. I will not make you guys roll anything, but I will let you know if you're trying to get up this place in a hurry or you're running from someone. It is one wrong step and you are either falling or sliding several dozen feet down to the ground. That said, there still are torches on coming from the warehouse that this harbor is being constructed around. Go ahead.
We're having trouble seeing it cast Produce Flame.
Oh, no, it's not. You guys don't have trouble seeing. I'm just, letting you guys know there's someone there. And as you guys approach, you are going to see a patrol of two guards. They both have spears on their back, and they're each holding a torch, just moving kind of around this warehouse. As
So is the warehouse where the harbor master is, or it's on the way there?
presumably he's inside the warehouse. The harbor is not built yet. There's a hold on, I can kind of draw it for you. Man, I'm drawing a lot tonight. This is fun. Okay, so the warehouse is the furthest building in the town, and there's just a few houses around here of presumably the people who work in this warehouse, and then the construction of the dock that's happening, and the river, and then the bay. That's literally, the bay is right off of this map. I was not paying attention when I saved the map and I cut it off. But anyways, yeah, so as you head down to this warehouse, presumably the harbor master's in there, because the rest of the harbor is just like planks of wood inside of the water, like half-built piers, half-built poles, like a half-built lighthouse. Like, there's really nothing for anybody to kind of like reside in yet.
Kaith will, as the guards go past, he will say, "Good sirs, we are looking for a Shellen Killinar, the harbour master, I believe."
He's going to say, let me make sure I pronounce this right. He's going to say, Sky Lilin Kellinar. Yes, the harbor master is right inside of the warehouse. He's taking a final stock. I can retrieve him for you, but unless you're with the Navy or the military, you're not allowed in. He's going to walk away and start walking inside of the warehouse.
Let's just follow him.
There is another guard there. He's So if you follow the first one as he goes in,
I reach out, I put my hand on her shoulder, just like, yeah, it's not going there.
Does Lex stop, or do they keep going?
Lex stops.
Okay. Waiting outside in the cold a few minutes later, under the torchlight, the guard is going to return. There is a small, wide-eyed man. He is a halfling who looks up at you and says, "Hi, I'm Sky Lilin Kellinar, harbor master. And I gotta say, I harbor deep respect for you coming to me in this hour." That's a harbor master joke. Harbor humor. A halfling making harbor humor.
Out of character. That actually made.
I just look confused.
My character doesn't understand it though.
Okay.
He's going to say, "Well, what questions do you harbor to bring that brings you to me tonight?" That's another harbor joke.
I'll whip up a story and.
I say he's using the word harbor wrong.
I'll whip up a story and basically have it be related to shipfaring and stuff like that, but ultimately pointing to that we need to go inside to talk more about the subject.
He is going to.
That's one of like a performance, basically. I'm a storyteller, so.
Give me a deception check, because you don't have to be inside. You want to be inside. but let's see. Oof, 17 on that deception is going to look at the guards and say, did Admiral Deneliu send you?
I nod earnestly.
He's going to look at the guard and say, all right. He stretches his back and says, I've been moving wood and rocks all day long. I was just looking forward to getting to my bed and getting some sleep. You know, Mrs. Sky Lennon Kellinar is waiting for me inside.
Oh, I can help you with stretching.
Nyoka is going to look around and say, Nyoka doesn't understand why you do the harbor way. And then he proceeds to tell him how Nyoka feels it would be done better.
Alright.
Great.
As you guys walk inside, this is a long storehouse. On one side of it, there are huge piles of lumber, of trees that have been cut and stacked up and stripped of their branches, and that occupies a good 2/3 of the warehouse. Lining these trees, you are also going to see carts in here, and each of the carts have a tarp thrown over them. And that's just what you see in your immediate vicinity, like around you. And he's going to say, now, what's the Admiral want now? We're getting the harbor up as quick as possible. We won't have to send rowboats out anymore, and we'll be able to move this en masse.
Oh, we've just been sent to check up on your progress. All the, basically all the mining activities and the results of what's been here and gotten onto the ship so far. I can do persuasion with that, or...
Go ahead and roll me another deception check on that. He's gonna say, blast that damn Admiral, she doesn't even know what's on her own ships?
Are there guards in there with us?
There is a guard in here with you.
You know, admirals, they don't tend to be on the ships as much as they should be.
Plus, let's face it, the higher up you are, the less work you do.
Not in agreement.
He's gonna say, well, I was told not to.
We know you're really the one getting things done around here.
Yeah. I was
on the back.
Gonna nod and say, well, you can say that again. I was told not to talk with any, or I was told not to show the manifest to anybody who didn't have an officer's commendation or signet. I don't see one on any of you. The guard is going to shake his head and say, they're not officers on any of the forces that came with us.
Kyath will step forward to shake the Harbour Master's hand and say, excellent work. This was a security audit to see if you were following protocol.
He's, like, as you do, he's gonna smile and say, "Ah!" He nods and says, "That admiral is clever, she is."
Kaith will then cast Sleep on the Guard.
Alright,
Let's go.
casting a spell is an action. So it's going to take you 6 seconds to do that.
Both guards in here?
One guard is in here. Go ahead and roll me initiative as you begin casting the spell. Both Sky Kellinar and Skylin Kellinar and the guard are going to be like so it's really going to be on the initiative of Kayeth. Would you believe me if I told you you beat the guard? Alright.
I want to use charm.
Okay. I'm going to rule this. The guard is trained for combat, and he is keeping an eye on you. You, the guard, and Azure all act in the first round of combat, but what's his face? Sky Kellinar is surprised, and so is the rest of the party. They will join initiative in the next round of combat. Alright, so, yeah, you cast Sleep on the guard. Roll me 5d8 to see if you have the HP to put him to sleep. And where do you target the sleep spell?
If possible, just to try and catch only the guard in that.
Okay. 22 HP. I think that should be enough to put this guy to sleep. Alright, you are going to, you can put it above his head, and the guard is going to be affected by the sleep spell for 1 minute. Skellin Kellinar is going to join initiative the next round. He
I
looks.
get to do charm on him first, though?
Well, that's what I was going to say. He looks panicked at the guard falling asleep, and that he is about to yell. It is your action. What do you do, Steve, for Azure?
Vampire charm.
Alright.
Scaling Kalinar.
You attempt to charm him. He rolls against your save. What is your save?
It is wisdom plus my proficiency plus my charisma. So...
it should be... Oh, it's a wisdom save against your charisma plus proficiency. Plus 8.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I get plus 7, I think. I got 2 proficiency bonus and 5 from charisma.
Okay. Well,
Brandon,
give me...
Brandon, is that an ability check
No, it's a...
that you're running?
It's
It's
a
a
saving throw.
Save versus wisdom, and that's my bonuses to it.
Yeah, so you have a plus 3 in charisma. Your save is going to be...
Yeah, 3, 5. So 5.
Yeah, your save is going to be 13 as the DC. So it's 8 plus 3 plus 2.
Hey, Brandon.
Yes.
Right.
The enemy has to roll an ability check, right?
No, he's rolling a
wisdom saving
saving throw.
A saving throw. Okay.
Yes.
Never mind.
All right. So he is trying to beat your saving throw. He has rolled a 10. He is going to get a 12 on that check and fail. He is charmed by you. On his turn, he enters initiative. Let's see.
So he is now considers me to be a trusted friend, to be heeded and protected.
Yes.
Although the target isn't under the vampire's control, it's the vampire's request or actions in the most favorable way that it can.
Yes.
Nyoka is gonna start tying up the guard.
Okay. Everybody else can enter initiative if you want, but unless you give this guy an order before Nyoka ties up the guard. What's up?
I would like to say something. Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
Frenchgalen Kalinar, I'm sure you see that it's important to show me those books now, and to allow my friends to be as we finish up our business here.
He's on his initiative round. He rolls 19 in initiative. He's gonna respond and say, "You're fine, but he put the guard who was protecting us to sleep. And any of these other ones can be murderers. I think we should go and get the other guard."
Oh no. Oh, just leave them here for a moment. I'll protect you. Let's go. And point to his office or whatever.
Okay, he is going to...
Persuasion or something? If
No, you don't have to. Now, you know this is only for a few minutes. He is going to nod and say, yes, let's get out of here. I've got an office behind the lumber over there. He begins walking with you. Nyoka.
Quickly now.
You go to tie up the guard. Do you have rope?
I do.
Okay. All right. Give me a sleight of hand check, but instead of dexterity, use your intelligence modifier.
Oh, you do this to me every time, Brandon. And
It is the tying knots rule out of Xanathar's Guide to Everything. Knots are your knowledge of knots, not your ability to use your fingers.
Okay, so it's gonna be a 20 minus 20 plus 1. Roll.
Kayath will assist.
20.
Okay, you can roll it with advantage.
That's okay, I nat 20'd it.
No, you gotta roll 1d20.
Sorry, I rolled it wrong. Sorry, I'm as a 1.
Yeah. Otherwise, I'll roll all my rolls like that, too. Alright, and roll me one more d20 and take the higher result. Alright, you are going to tie him up. You loop the rope around his hands, tie it around his arms, his waist, and then down to his feet, tying up his feet. You're able to do so pretty well.
And then I gag him.
Yeah, I was going to say, you don't have enough rope to tie his mouth closed. You're able to gag him, presumably with some cloth from some of the rest of your party.
Before Azure walks away, I quickly ask him how long it will last.
Well, let's see if I can get a sense for that this time.
I rolled it for you. When the effect went on, it was 3 minutes.
Oh, 3, okay.
Yes.
So anyway, I'm hurrying him along. I don't know if I know that,
here.
or...
If I were to cast Charm Person on someone who's charmed, would they have a disadvantage against it? Or not a disadvantage, but a straight roll instead of an advantage?
On the charm, they would just roll to save regularly. But the magic would be replacing the charm that he's under the effect of.
Okay, so I follow him, and I prepare to cast the spell Charm Person for the moment that he seems to no longer be charmed.
Okay. As you follow him, Scalen Kelinar is going to...
Brandon, I'm gonna try and hide the guard.
Okay.
Put him I'm sure there's a bunch of boxes around in the warehouse area.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll me a stealth check. How well you do hiding it. All right. So Kelenar is going to whisper to Azure and say, he's following us. He's following us. Kill him. He's gonna attack us.
I'll look back and hold up a finger toward our pursuer, and then head in deeper with him.
Alright. He leads you around the wood into a small room that has a glass window overlooking the warehouse. You can't see much because there's so much. All of the logs are in front of it. It's just like looking out of the window, you just see like logs. Let's see. I'm gonna roll you. It's been a minute and a half of him like walking into this room, and he's going to start barricading the door, and say, "Okay, hopefully they'll just go away. It's not like they can steal much of anything."
I've got this. I've got the door. You just find the book."
He's going to look up and say, "Why are we looking for the book?"
Oh, you needed to review something.
Oh. He's going to go and go to his desk. He pulls out a key and he sticks it into the dark wooden desk. Turns it and pulls out a pulls out a fresh leather tome. Seems to be new. He's gonna say, "I just can't remember what it was I was looking for."
You said you would know when you saw it, so I guess just leaf through it. See what happens.
He's going to begin leafing through it, and he's going to, and you're going to feel the magic that's linking you to that tether of your personalities, almost interwoven. You have like this instinctual kind of like life sense that he's there, and you feel that just kind of slip as like his closeness fades from you. You feel the magic fading. He
All right.
As he's
go
ahead.
Am I able to put a hand on the book real quick?
Yes, you're able to, but you're both going to be back in initiative order.
Right.
This next round. He's going to look up at you, and then he is going to scream and say, "Help! Help! Ah!"
I'll try to intimidate him.
Okay. You're able to. What's up, Annie?
I should have followed. I have like +7 on intimidation.
I got 5. I'm pretty good.
Go ahead and roll me an intimidation check. You're able to do so as an action on your turn.
Do we hear him starting to scream?
Yes, you do. And what type of weapon does Azure have?
He's got a great sword and a large heavy crossbow.
Alright, so as he starts screaming, you just take out your greatsword and kind of like put the blade down on the desk. And what do you say?
Quiet now. I know you like your head attached to your body.
He's gonna swallow and say, yeah. The rest of the party outside is going to hear. Go ahead.
I turn to the door and prepare to cast Charm Person on the guard, first guard that runs through the door.
Okay, give me a roll for initiative.
Bram is standing by the door with his staff, like he's about to swing for the fences.
Okay, let's just see where you guys all are land at an initiative because the guard outside heard this too, and you might like turn to get ready to cast that spell,
terrible.
and
I'm terrible.
guard is running in, spear in hand, and he heard the help. He runs in. You start getting ready to cast the spell. He sees you. He looks around. He doesn't see any of the people he knows that are supposed to be in there, and he lunges at you like just full sprint, spear in his hand, in the air, like 300. Like Leonidas from 300 of just and he's gonna make an attack roll at you.
Are we doing new initiative or the same initiative?
This is the same initiative as before. We are.
I don't see the initiative.
I'm keeping up with it cinematically.
Okay.
Yeah, you were moving at a 4 on initiative.
Okay.
Yeah. Also,
Yes.
pardon, but where am I in all this? Because I haven't done it. My character's literally just kind of like standing there watching this all go down.
Alright, this is spontaneous combat. I was going to prepare a combat grid for you guys next time, but let's make one now. Let's see. I didn't plan for you guys to attack these people. That's the beauty of D&D. There's Nyoka, Azure, Lex, Bram, Kayeth, and Suya, and let's get a guard out here. What tokens do I have? I know I have a guard token. Alright, just give me a dude with a spear. That's all I need. You know what? Close enough. We'll pull this person over here. Alright. And we'll pull another one because that's relevant. And then we need Harbor Master Skykellan. Okay, so you guys are in a warehouse. It is a long affair, and I am going to draw out a very brief assumption of what this place looks like, so please do not hold it against me. There, and there would be a side room over here. And then we have piles of wood over here.
So, is there 2 guards running in, or just 1?
There's just 1. So if you give me 1 second,
Okay.
I'm showing
He's
you
drawn
guys.
wood.
Yeah.
Yes.
Drawn wood. Not the things I expected to be saying, but hey, it's what we're doing.
And any indication where the doors are at some point, that'd be good too.
I will give that to you.
What are
Okay.
those?
Those are the carts with the tarps over them.
Oh yeah.
And then the doors I will draw in green because reasons. Okay. Alright, so let's go back to the token grid. We've got Brahm ready in action at the door. Presumably... Oh, and let me go back here. And and I'll draw one more door. The door is barricaded shut.
I don't think JB was in there, was he?
Oh, that is not... Yeah, that's the wrong character. My bad. Thank you. Alright. I will get everybody's names on these tokens in a second. Can people move around their tokens?
I can move mine.
Okay. Cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I will place everybody on the grid, and then I'll allow you to shift yourself 5 feet in any direction. Alright. Guard. That is the knight that Nyoka stashed away. And I would say Lex would be like chilling right there. And Kayeth would be chilling next to Lex. Alright, so that is the scene. There is the door the guard bursted through. Zaya described to me that he was waiting with sight on the door so he could cast on the halfling should the charm break, but then the halfling started screaming and he changed his focus to the doorway of the guard coming in.
They went into the room and barricaded the door, and I stopped following them, so...
Yeah.
That's why I was like, well, I can't see them anymore.
Yeah, so everybody can move themselves 5 feet in any direction. The guard is going to step in and immediately move to attack. Yeah. In Zaya. I have to just remember how to say your name. Okay, cool. And I can just use this because alright.
Which door did the guard come in?
He came in from the green doors.
So, would I have been in a position to smack him as soon as he came through the door? Because that's what I was waiting for.
So you would be able to do so. You'd be able to set up that on your turn for your initiative. But
that's what I was waiting for the whole time. I was standing by the door the whole time.
Okay, you can take an attack of opportunity at him.
Like I said, two-handed, I'm swinging for the fences.
Okay. Alright, you were going to deal 6 bludgeoning damage to him. He is bloodied. He busts into the door, sees Anzaya casting a spell, moves immediately to attack Anzaya, and doesn't notice Brahm as you come across him with the quarterstaff. He is going to make a... Good God, man! Make a spear attack at Anzaya, and he is going to lunge his spear into him and say, "Ah!" Let's see. He's going to yell out and say, "Kiris!" The other guard is going to make a acrobatics check to get free of the ropes, and he is going to
wait. How did he wake up?
Sleep only lasts for a minute. He's been awake, but he's been just wiggling against his ropes.
Okay, so it's been
it's been 3 minutes since you guys have been tied up.
I take 9 hit points.
Yes, you take 9 piercing damage as he lunges his spear through you. Alright, so all of that said, that's it is Nyoka's turn. You see the guard on the ground. He has moved his hands free, and he has started untying the ropes around him. He will be free on his turn.
Nyoka's going to shrug and just stab him in the neck.
Alright, give me an attack roll.
missed.
All right, you are going to miss him as he leans back and is going to just what is that? A nat 1? Oh no, it is not a nat 1. Okay, cool.
No.
Yeah. He leans around the cart as you go to stab him. All right.
Hold on, I'm gonna use my bonus action.
Okay.
To do Hungry Jaws, and I'm going to try and bite him. And I missed that one too.
All right.
Wow.
All right. So, and disregard this icon right there. Okay. That is your turn. So let's go through initiative. Bram is at a 14. It is Bram's turn. And did Lex want to join initiative order?
Did I miss something?
Not yet. It is Brom's turn. Brom, there is a guard in front of you. He has a spear sticking out of Inzaya's body. What do you want to do?
I run up on him, and instead of swinging for the fences, I come down with a giant axe chop right on his head.
All right, go for it. That is going to hit. So you're a monk, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so I believe a quarterstaff is a monk weapon for you.
Yes.
You can choose to forego the quarterstaff's damage to then roll it as a with your monk damage dice. If you do, you instead of rolling the d10, you would roll a d6 plus your dexterity.
Yeah, I know, but I already rolled it, so
Okay.
I'll set it up. I'll fix it.
Okay, just letting you know for the future. Okay. Alright, so you are going to bring the quarterstaff on him, hitting the back of his head. He is very bloodied, and he's got a lot of fight left in him, though. He turns around, gritting his teeth, and in Zayat... Well, nope, it's Kayeth's turn.
Kayeth will move to here, and he'll cast Mind Sliver on this guard.
Alright, it's a wisdom saving throw, I think? Okay.
DC 13 int save.
Okay, I rolled it as a wisdom. I'm going to re-roll it as an intelligence save. Alright, he is... Oh, I didn't even see that nat 1. He still fails it. Alright, he's going to fail it, and he takes a d12 of damage. Or no, he's incapacitated. Yeah.
So no, this is just Mind Sliver. This is the cantrip. So he just takes 3 psychic damage, and his next save has a d4
minus from it. Okay, alright, he takes the psychic damage, and he is going to be free of the ropes. We're on 5 initiative. That's going to be in Zaya.
So, guard in front of me is still standing, right?
Yes.
I'll just use Firebolt.
Okay. And you know when you cast that within melee range of another enemy, it's disadvantage. So go ahead and roll it.
That's 1, and... Or wait, that's that damage. I think that's just damage, damn it.
Yeah, that nat 1 is going to be a miss.
Was that just damage? Hold on, I just...
No,
check.
no. The 5 was the attack
Okay,
roll.
okay. Alright, good.
Go ahead and roll me 1d2.
You're hidden from.
One.
So I just put D2?
Yeah, /R space 1d2.
Right. There we go.
Alright. Would you believe me if I told you that was your best option?
Yeah.
You are going to aim your hand at this guard. Begin the incantation for your spell, and he is going to bring up his spear and deflect your hand away, and the firebolt is going to shoot astray. It's gonna hit Brahm as it shoots astray. I'm gonna roll that damage for it. Now, Brahm, you are a monk. I will let you decide between two things. You see this happening in the flash of this second. Like, he deflects the hand away. The firebolt comes out. It is shooting and careening towards you. And your knee-jerk reaction is to get out of the way of it, which I will let you do as a dexterity saving throw. But as you turn your head to the side, behind you is the pile of dried lumber. It is up to you if you choose to move.
I take it.
Alright, you take 9 fire damage. The firebolt clashes with you. Alright, that's the 5 in the initiative round. We're down to the 4 in initiative round. It is Azure's turn. Are you there, Steve?
Yeah, I'm gonna cast command.
Okay. And what do you command him to do?
I'll command him to sleep.
Alright. He... Go ahead and link the text for command, but he is going to, walk to the, side of the room, and, he's, going to lay down and say, I'm gonna go to sleep.
The target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or follow the command on the next turn.
Yeah, link me the text, because I just want to make sure that command doesn't have... Because I know it's one round, but I just want to make sure it doesn't have to be something that... Yeah.
It's a little bit difficult to do that, but I'll find it for you real quick here.
Well, can you click the spell on your sheet? If it's fine, I'll look it up. Anyways...
does the sheet post it when I do that?
Yes, it should. When you... If you just click it off of your spell sheet, it should post it into chat. Alright. He is going to walk over to the other side of the room and try and lay down and fall asleep. Do you want to do anything else with the rest of your action? He moves at the top of the round, so it's not going to make much of a difference.
I would take the book and make sure. Well, did I notice when he was flipping through it that it is a manifest of whatever they were doing?
Looking at it on the table, I'll allow you to interact with one item on your turn for free. Flipping through the book, you can see it has various items listed on it, and amounts, and dates.
Okay.
Presumably, it is the manifest.
So I'll take that book and move toward the barricade.
Alright, and you're going to start on barricading the door?
Quietly.
Okay, you'll be... yeah, you got a sleeping halfling on the other side. Okay, you'll be able to do so in the next round. On his turn, he is going to move to the corner and start sleeping. The guard's turns. The first guard moves at initiative order 19. And he... Oh, well, 19 before his dex bonus. He is going to attack... Wait, let me not roll with this and just roll with this. He's going to attack... And Suya doesn't seem like much of a threat. That Brahm guy is getting to be a problem, though. He's going to turn around, spear in hand, and attack
But he
Brahm.
does pull the spear out of me, though, right? Because
Yes, he does.
Me.
Yeah, he...
Okay.
He is going to pull the spear out and turn around and try and stab Brahm. Does a 14 versus your AC hit?
No.
Alright, he is going to miss. Nyoka, the other guard, is free. He's going to whip off a short sword off of his... well, no, because you guys probably would have disarmed him of that. He's going to pull like a dagger out of his boot at this point and toss it up and say, "Alright, let's go, lizard." And he's going to make a stabby stabs at Nyoka. I'm going to roll this as a spear attack, but I'll roll the damage separately if he hits, because the spear does, the dagger does 1d4. Alright, he's going to miss. Alright, that is all of their turn. Annie, does Lex want to do anything?
Can I just move towards the whole, situation that's going on over there?
Yeah, there are two situations. Do you want to help Nyoka, or do you want to help Brahm and Ensuya? Or Enzaya.
Brahm and Enzaya. Actually, well, no. Nyoka's closer and I know him better.
Alright, so 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, you can climb on the cart.
Okay, yeah.
Alright,
Yay.
give me an attack roll at this guard as you climb on the cart. Nyoka is attacking him, and you are able to do so too.
Alright. I have a dagger on me. Huh. I'm gonna try and see if I can just stab him with my dagger.
Okay. Alright, give me an attack roll.
So you do the roll d20 and then you add the +5 for the attack, right?
Yes, 1d20 plus 5. Additionally, on your sheet, you should have an area where you could just click the dagger.
Oops.
And it'll roll for you.
Okay.
So, do you have your character sheet open?
Yes, I do. I just keep pressing the wrong button.
Okay.
I pressed it twice.
If you look in the center of your sheet, you see where it says attacks and spellcasting. I'm going to click where it says dagger, and if you see, it'll roll that in the chat, and it'll roll it, there you go.
Okay, I don't know how Roll20 works.
Yeah,
Alright then.
well, hey, that's why I'm here to help out. Alright, so you are going to climb up on, oh, and you have sneak attack too. So you're going to climb up on this cart. The contents underneath are definitely not flat. It's like a rocky terrain you're on, and you're going to see this guard, and you're going to be able to leap down on him, and you're going to be able to leap down on him and bring this dagger to his head. Go ahead and roll me. I'm going to take your roll with advantage, even though, you know. Go ahead and roll me again. Roll it one more time, because I'm going to take it with advantage. And then you also are going to get your sneak attack.
Roll the dagger again?
Yep. I'm giving you advantage for the high ground. Alright,
Okay, it got a lot lower.
okay, alright. I'm going to click your damage. You're going to hit for 4 points of damage, and you can roll your sneak attack die, which is 1d6.
Alright.
Alright, you deal 8 points of piercing damage to him. You jump off the cart, stab him, and roll behind him. Alright, let's see. That was the 18 initiative order. We are moving down to 14. Brahm, it is your turn. This guard... Man, these CR-1-4 guards are just... They're trying, man.
He tried to hit me. Now it's done. I am going to smack him with my quarterstaff again.
Okay, that is going to hit. How do you kill him? Or is it non-lethal damage?
Oh no, these guys are slavers. I hit him so hard right in the base of the neck and the shoulder that I snap his neck.
Alright, the man is going to crumble in front of you. Okay, go ahead.
And then, hold on, I look around and I use 1 key point to take patient defense because I'm a little hurt.
Okay. You're able to take the dodge action. That is your turn. What was Nyoka's initiative?
It was 19.
19. I skipped you. I'm sorry. I moved over.
Okay.
Okay, it's Nyoka's turn.
Nyoka is going to... he's going to attack with his short sword.
Okay, go for it. This guard in front of you is very bloody. That hits.
Oh, I get...
Roll damage.
Hold on, I guess he is actually an advantage now.
No, we are not doing flanking this time around.
Oh.
I will give you advantage if you can creatively find a way to get it, but you do not get it just from flanking. But the 13 does hit. Alright,
Hold on.
is that lethal or non-lethal damage? It was a melee attack.
It is lethal.
Alright, how do you kill him?
It would have just went into his chest.
Alright. He's got this dagger in hand squaring off against both of you, and, you know, Lex leaps off the cart at the top of the round, and, you know, he fends her off, takes a gash on the neck, you know, has his hand, turns back towards Nyoka, and Nyoka just stabs him straight through the chest, and he falls down to his knees. Alright, meanwhile, Azure is able to unbarricade the door as Galen Kellen, yes?
Is it still in the initiative order right now?
Yes, you're able to still move in the initiative order, but all the enemies are basically defeated.
Nyoka's going to now strip the guard. He wasn't going to before, but now he's going to take all money, weapons, items.
What did Nzaya want to do? And then we'll end initiative order.
I was going to walk up to Brahm and cast Cure Wounds on him.
Okay, go ahead and roll me 1d8 plus your wisdom modifier. Alright, Azure is able to unbarricade the door and step out. The Dockmaster continues to try to sleep. Azure is holding the manifest. Do you guys want to say anything or do anything before we end for tonight?
Once Brahm gets healed, he wants to check to see what's under the tarps and the carts.
Okay.
I'm just trying to find my spellcasting modifier on the sheet here.
It's going to be your wisdom, so it's likely a +3. He's a druid. So
my wisdom's a 4.
Okay, well, your wisdom's a 15 on your sheet.
Oh, no, sorry, I was looking at proficiency here.
Yeah, so you roll a d8 plus 2. Alright.
Plus 2. Okay.
So go ahead and roll that dice. Brahm, you walk over to the cart and lifting up the tarp over the cart, you can see a bunch of rocks and a bunch of rocks and on this cart. Just grimy stone, but ever so often a piece of it catches the torchlight. Presumably there's some valuable mineral inside of these rocks. Some type of gemstone is gleaming, and fragments of it ever so often.
I pointed out to Kayeth, and I tell him, look, this is what they're mining. Can you tell me what it is?
Kenneth will have a look, see if he can.
Okay. We'll end here after you make this check. Go ahead and I'll allow either a investigation check or I know what I think a stone cunning check is like. Go ahead and give me an investigation check because I forgot what it is to for stone. Okay, here we go.
Combat. Go ahead.
You can keep that investigation check, or I'll allow you to change it to a history check. That's what normally it is to identify stones.
No, investigation if I can.
Okay. All right. Kayeth, you look over these rocks. You turn over piece by piece. You break off a few to get a better look at the gemstone. It is a hazy white stone. It comes from the earth, and it's not smooth, so obviously it's not a pearl. And it is not see-through, or it's not clear enough to be a diamond. You're able to make out that these are opals. This stone is opal, and it is a lot of opal. Presumably, if each one of these carts are filled with veins that have gemstones of opal inside of them, it is a ton of opal that's being mined out of this hillside. That said, we're going to end there for the night.
Nyoka's going to try and steal some of it if we can.
Now, I'm going to go ahead and tie up the halfling and gag him with a rope too.
Okay, we'll pick up there next session. For Nyoka, by the way, too, you are, when I say these are veins, these are chunks of cave wall that have been taken out that are going to go to, a smith or a jeweler to refine.
They're half the size of Nyoka. You can't carry them around.
Yeah, one of these is you can carry it, but one of these is 20 pounds on its own. It's the size of your head.
What I was getting at is he would try and do a chunk that looked like it was as much opal as possible.
Okay,
right?
I'll allow that, but let's do that at the top of next session.
Okay.
Alright, so let's do experience for tonight. I guess I'll give you guys combat experience. It's not going to be much because those guards were pretty small. And then let's also do inspiration. So, good session tonight, and I'll give you guys story stuff. You found out, you completed your quest. You got the manifests, and you found out what they were mining inside of this town. They were mining opals. And then, additionally, you guys got some combat experience. So, I am going to say in total for tonight, I'm not even going to bother dividing those guards amongst the 6 of you. because it's not going to be worth the time. I'm going to say in total for tonight, between storyline experience and combat experience, everybody gets 200 experience. And I'm going to give inspiration to Brahm tonight for just really great roleplay and working with the party. I'm going to give inspiration to Kayeth too for binding the party together in a organic way that I didn't have to say, "Hey, you guys are magically tied to each other because of this spell that says if you move 10 feet apart, you cry." Anyways, what I'm doing for inspiration this campaign, rather than just flat giving you guys inspiration, I'm letting you have the choice. Regular inspiration is something that you get that lets you choose to have advantage on 1d20 roll of your choice. Whenever you have it, and using it spends the inspiration. I have a special chart of additional cool inspirations that give you different benefits that are one-time uses that you can choose to take instead. So, as both of you guys have got inspiration, I'll let you choose. Do you want regular inspiration, or do you want me to roll on the table if you get a special inspiration?
Roll on the table.
Alright.
Here, yeah, roll on the table. I
First-
like stuff like that.
First one is for Brahm, and second one is for Kayeth. Alright, so Brahm gets normal inspiration, and Kayeth gets a prayer of guidance. So the next time you guys use your inspiration, Brahm, yours functions as a normal inspiration, and Kayeth, yours would, on a roll that you make, even if you've already added your proficiency bonus to it, you can add your proficiency bonus a second time to it. Alright, and that...
Oh, I'm jealous.
that is where we will end tonight on. Alright, thank you guys for playing, and your next session will be on the 25th of January.